Hello there, thank you for joining us on the news at 4. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye. Ahead of today's celebration of Salah, 2 explosions have been reported early in the morning in Damaturu, Yobe State. The explosions at Phase 1 Eid Praying Ground was said to have been triggered off by a female suicide bomber. An aid worker report says 10 bodies have been counted at the scene, many of which were reported to be children. We'll bring you details of that story much later. No fewer than 50 people lost their lives, however, while scores of others were injured in Gombe Central Market's twin blast on Thursday evening. An eyewitness, Malam Ibrahim Mohammed, an orange seller, told newsmen that the bomb exploded at exactly 5:20 p.m. and just a few meters away from the scene, another bomb exploded. According to him, the number of dead bodies he saw are between 47 and 50, apart from mutilated parts of human bodies. On the spot, a member of the Nigeria Red Cross Society who pleaded anonymity, said the society counted about 48 dead bodies and the corpses were deposited at the mortuaries of the Specialist Hospital and Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe. Confirming the incident to newsmen, the State Commissioner of Police, Kuduma, said there was a bomb blast either on a suicide mission or aides were kept somewhere with a view to causing panic and apprehension to people. According to him, the bomb exploded at the Central Market Sabon Lai, where they sell slippers and clothes. Reports reaching us now says that the Department of State Service has placed former NSA Sambo Dasuki under house arrest in his Asokoro residence. We'll bring you up details in our subsequent bulletins. Former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Kenneth Manima says he's leaving behind officers and men that are capable of defeating Boko Haram. This, he noted, is a far cry from the troops with low morale he inherited on assuming office about 18 months ago. General Manima, who spoke while handing over to the new Army Chief Danko Buratai, is convinced that the Army would be a better fighting force under the new leadership. Defense correspondent Pao Samuel has details in this report.
Kenneth Minima is the 19th indigenous Chief of Army Staff. He took over from former Army Chief Azubuike Ihejirika on January 20, 2014, but is now handing over to Major General Tuku Boratai after about 18 months in the saddle. But before the formal handover, Minima shared his experience on the army he inherited from his predecessor. He, however, expressed delight that he is leaving behind a fighting force which he insisted has reduced Boko Haram capacity in the northeast.
At the time of my appointment, our army, and indeed the nation, was going through one of the worst crises in our history. The level of violence and insecurity unleashed on our fellow citizens by Boko Haram terrorists had reached unprecedented heights. The Boko Haram terrorists had nearly brought the Nigerian army and indeed the armed forces to her knees. Barracks were sacked at random, weapons and ammunition carted away, and vulnerable civilians wantonly killed by terrorists.
Looking back at his stint as Chief of Army Staff, Minima maintained that troops under his watch were able to reclaim all territories earlier lost to the terrorists. This, he explained, was due to some unusual action he took as the head of the army.
As I hand over today, I'm happy to inform you that the Boko Haram terrorist insurgency is at the throes of a certain defeat. During my tenure, we were able to reclaim all lost territories earlier lost to the terrorists, sufficiently degrade their potency and reduce them to a band of criminals and petty thieves. We were also able to stabilize the situation in North Central Zone. These achievements, I must say, were recorded as a result of our collective effort.
Major General Burutai, for his part, is not only keen on building on the legacies left behind by Minima, but also wants officers and men of the army to maintain high standard of discipline. The new army chief charged the soldiers to brace up for a task he described as enormous.
On this note, I must sincerely thank the outgoing Chief of Army Staff, and I wish you successful retirement life as you go back to the civil society and indeed back to your community. But be rest assured, we will not leave you to go. We will continue to defer to you whenever we feel you will come to our aid and give us your words of wisdom and advice. I very much know your tenure as the Chief of Army Staff has brought discipline. Everybody has sat up, and the discipline has really gotten root into the Nigerian Army.
After the ceremony, the former army chief inspected the quarter guard for the last time before being ushered out of the army headquarters into retirement. Par Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara has opted to zone the majority leader of the 8th House of Representatives to the Northwest Geopolitical Zone, a move that goes against the June 23 directive of the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief John Odigoyego. He noted that the zone has 86 APC lawmakers. In a letter he addressed to Odigoyego on Thursday, he also proposed to zone the post of the Deputy House Leader to the North Central with 33 members, while he zoned the position of the Chief Whip to the South-South. Dogara proposed that the Deputy Whip should come from the Southeast. The letter reiterated the Speaker's long-standing argument that the principal offices in the House should go around the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Against the earlier proposal of the party's leadership that the Southwest should produce the majority leader, Dogara said the zone already had the Deputy Speaker. He added that it would not be fair to give the same zone the position of the House leader, while some zones had nothing. Dogara used the same explanation for zoning the Deputy Whip to Southeast instead of Northeast proposed by the party. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell
On
with it.
Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion,
Everybody have the right in Nigeria.
where you are the judge.
This is what the people are saying. You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country. Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man. You don't die.
this nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. You can get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handles at CoreTV News NJ, and we're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV News. The People's Democratic Party says it would reject any election conducted by the acting chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, Amina Zakari. The two spoke when he paid a visit to the National Democratic Institute and the International Republican Institute in Abuja. Speaking during the visits, Metu alleged that the INEC acting chairman was a daughter to Buhari, hence she would not be fair in the discharge of the responsibilities as the nation's electoral umpire. However, the rejection will be limited to elections in which the party did not win, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Olisa Metu, said. This is even as the party told the international community to caution President Muhammadu Buhari and the All Progressives Congress over what the opposition party described as draconian and authoritarian rule by the present government. Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole has refuted claims by the former Minister of Finance, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, that he's attacking her for the withdrawal from the excess crude account because she refused to approve a loan for the state. The governor, in a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Kazim Afebua, said he had nothing personal against the former minister, but claimed that he chose to criticize her because she turned down a loan request made by his administration was a blackmail that would not help her. He accused the former minister of changing her explanations on the ECA withdrawal 4 times and asked her to come out clean on the issue of the $2.1 billion extra crude account revenue. Oshiomhole said rather than provide answers to pertinent questions on how funds into the excess crude account got depleted without the knowledge of the National Economic Council and how monies that were supposed to accrue into the said account cannot be found in it, going by the balance sheet provided by the former minister, Okonjo-Iweala had been shifting the goalpost in her statements. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Abdullahi Mohamadu as the new Commander General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja. The new NSCDC boss, who was an Assistant Commander General before his new appointment, hails from Moye in Lapaya local government area of Niger State. The Kaduna State Police Command has placed a ban on all forms of social gathering at recreational centers, parks and events during the activities to mark the end of Ramadan in the state. These followed a security alert by the security outfit, codenamed Operation Yaki, that the state might be attacked on Saturday by a terror group known as Surasuki or Masushara. Coordinator of the outfit, Colonel Yakubu Yusuf, retired, who raised the alarm, had said security operatives had been placed on a red alert, but cautioned residents to be vigilant during the period. He also warned residents against accommodating or harboring strange fellows, as the Boko Haram terror group had changed their tactics of attacks. The Osun State House of Assembly has inaugurated a 7-man committee to look into the petition filed against Governor Rauf Aregbesola by a 7-judge in the state. The twist comes as opposition members of the House expressed lack of confidence in the committee. Rashid now brings details.
On the 19th of June 2015, a 7th judge of Osun State High Court, Justice Folahanmi Oloyede, approached the State House of Assembly with a petition against the governor of the state, Rauf Aregbesola, alleging him of gross misconduct. This was followed by another petition filed by a civil society group with the name Center for Social Justice. We saw both petitions calling for the impeachment of the governor due to his inability to pay workers' salaries. Barely a month after, the Speaker, Najim Salam, while inaugurating a 7-man committee, disclosed that the governor has responded to the petition and assured that the allegations leveled against him will be investigated.
I acknowledge that the entire world is waiting for what we have to do with the petition forwarded to us by Justice Folahanmi Oloyede. I must disclose to you that Governor Rauf Aregbesola has obliged us his response to the petition, and I will constitute a committee, to be constituted today, to look into the matters with a view to investigating the allegation leveled against him And I am confident that the honorable men in this committee will do justice to the matter before them without fear or evil.
However, the minority leader of the House, Makinde Oladejo, expressed dissatisfaction over the composition of the committee.
How can you, in a House comprises of two parties, nominate some people from one side in a committee that is going to serve the generality of the states without even input from the other party, and as that, the minority leader of the party from the other side? What are the criteria used in nominating these people? He said there is no opposition in the House. Good and fine. We are not here to act as an opposition, but we are here to act for the betterment of the people of Osun State. So in that case, all the members should be carried along. And that is to show you what we have been facing in the House because of the number.
The committee has 2 weeks to submit its report, as the chairman of the committee, Akintunde Adeboye, asserted that justice will be done. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
Cameroon has banned the wearing of full-face Islamic veil, including the burqa, in the northern region. This is in the wake of suicide bomb attacks by 2 women dressed in hijab, which killed 13 people in Futakol on Sunday. The governor of the mainly Muslim region, Mediyawa Bakari, explained that the measure was to prevent further attacks. Chad announced a similar ban after suspected Boko Haram insurgents attacked a police formation last month. The group has also been using female suicide bombers in hijab to launch attacks in several cities in northern Nigeria in recent times. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode on Tuesday paid an unscheduled visit to the Kotu-Ejigbo Road, assuring the residents that work on the road will commence within the next 1 week. Governor Ambode, who described the state of the road as unacceptable, assured residents who trooped out to hear from him that the road will get a facelift very soon. He said the road was too strategic as it serves as a major link road connecting several local governments. Hence, it could not be left at the state which it was. As government at all levels explore ways of reducing unemployment rate in the country, experts say tapping into the positive opportunities on the internet will assist in reducing the rate of unemployment in the country. This formed the main point of speeches delivered at the second Edge Series Student Summit. Abiola Oluwole was there and has more on the
With the high rate of unemployment in the country, providing jobs for the teeming population with the youth in focus remains a mirage for successive administration in Nigeria. The Edge Students Summit is a platform created to engage the youth on how to tap into the opportunities presented by technology to reduce unemployment to the barest minimum in the country. According to the organizers of the summit, exploring ways of driving our digital economy will turn the fortunes of most unemployed around.
It's extremely important for our young people to begin to realize that we can't just be consumers of technology. We have to drive technology, okay? And we have to drive technology by using the existing tools.
We're pulling together the best minds, the best hands in this field to speak to these young people, to expand their mind on how to better use the tech space in terms of the internet or the digital social media for the betterment of the country.
Participants at the event say the summit has armed them better opportunities provided by the internet.
What this summit has really opened my eyes to is the possibility of using the IT industry, mobile, it could be mobile, laptop, anything at all that has to do with IT in creating opportunities, okay, and even promoting an already existing business.
Let me say I'm one of those who just go on the net, check my Facebook, go to my emails, and then perhaps do a few chats on WhatsApp. I never really thought beyond doing more than that. But from the little I've learned now is that with that key in my hand, that phone in my hand, going on the internet, I can do much more than that. I can actually add value to myself, not just being a consumer, but also a producer.
According to analysts, more enlightenment presented by gatherings such as this will afford relevant government agencies to address the unemployment challenges in the country. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
We'll take a break now and I'll be back with more. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And just before we go outside Nigeria, Lagos State Governor Kiwome Ambode has again assured Lagosians of his administration's determination to complete the Mile 2 Badagry Road expansion, the project in quick time. Governor Ambode, who gave the assurance when he inspected the Mile 2 Badagry Road expansion works, which has been expanded to a 10-laneway, said the contractor working on the project will be mobilized to ensure its completion. On the Blue Line Light Rail project, the governor said efforts will be made to ensure that the Mile 2 to National Theatre corridor is completed soon. He urged the contractor to increase the pace of work on the project, just as he assured them the government will address the challenges they might be encountering towards finishing the project. The governor, who later inspected the Badagry Deep Sea Port, assured that the state government will give adequate support to the initiative, just as he assured the communities within the location of the project that their interests will be protected. Outside Nigeria now, residents of the Ukrainian village where a Malaysian airliner was shut down with 208 people aboard a year ago joined a procession to the crash site on Friday, while Australia's Prime Minister remembered the savagery of the disaster as he unveiled a plaque in Canberra that set in soil from where the wreckage fell. The two ceremonies come amid a sharp dispute over who was responsible for downing Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, which was heading from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur on July 17, 2014. Ukrainian and Western authorities say the plane was downed by a missile fired either by rebels or Russian troops who allegedly backed them. About 200 residents carrying flowers gathered in a church for a memorial service and procession to nearby fields organized by local leaders and the Russia-backed separatist rebels who control the area. At least 6 people have been killed on Friday in clashes between pro-Islamist protesters and Egyptian police in Cairo. Supporters of ousted Islamist President Mohamed Morsi had held small marches after the morning prayers for Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of the holy Muslim fast month of Ramadan. Police officials said the protesters attacked security forces stationed in Cairo's Talbiya district near the Giza pyramids. Though the health ministry did not give a breakdown of those killed, pro-Morsi protests have dwindled since his ouster by the military in 2013, which led to a massive crackdown on Islamists that killed at least 1,400 people in street violence. Yemen's internationally recognized government has announced the liberation of the country's second city, Aden, following 4 months of intense battles between Houthi rebels and forces trying to oust them. The government announced the liberation of the province of Aden on the first day of Eid al-Fitr, which falls on July 17. Bahar said, referring to the Muslim holiday marking the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. Residents and local fighters say that low-level clashes were still continuing in the Tawai district in the west of the city to sweep the Houthis from one of their last hideouts. The FBI are now investigating an attack on 2 military centers in Tennessee by a gunman who killed 4 Marines before being shot dead by police. Mohammed Yusuf Abdulaziz, who's 24 years old, was named as the man who went on a shooting spree at the recruitment center and a Naval Reserve Center in Chattanooga. Local prosecutors are investigating the attacks as domestic terrorism acts. But the FBI says it has found no link to the international terror groups and is unclear about the gunman's motive. A police officer and a Marine Corps recruiter were injured along with a female sailor who remains in a serious condition in hospital. President Barack Obama has described the attack as heartbreaking. And now to business. Members of the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association, DAPMA, have resumed importation of premium motor spirit, petrol, into the country. The development was confirmed on Thursday by the Executive Secretary DAPMA, Olufemi Adewale, in an interview with journalists. Before now, only the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, through its subsidiary, Pipelines and Product Marketing Company, was the sole importer of PMS into the country. Adewale confirmed that some of members of the DAPMA have had their credit lines reopened by the banks. He declined to mention the names of members that have had their credit lines restored, but insisted that majority were yet to achieve the feat. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Thursday said that all transactions consummated by any licensed bureau de change operators in the country must have the bank verification number of the customers. The directive, which was contained in a circular issued by the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation Department (CBN), Kevin Amogo, takes effect from August 1 this year. The move is aimed at ensuring greater transparency in foreign exchange transactions handled by licensed BDC operators in the country. The circular stated that the BVN information must be included in the returns made by the BDCs to the central bank. In the case of a corporate organization, the CBN directed the signature of the director of the company must be provided by the BDC. He says any BDC that failed to provide this information will be penalized, noting that first offenders will be paying a fine of ₦1 million. Well, it's good news for Nigeria as the country has recorded a new peak in power generation at 4,656.4 megawatts. This comes less than 2 days after the 4,545 megawatt was recorded. It was linked that the rise in power generation in the past few days was due to the stability in the supply of gas to the electricity generation plants. Our correspondent gathered that the rise in power generation was largely due to the decrease in pipeline vandalism, which, according to industry officials, was a result of the massive deployment of security officers to protect the facilities. Figures obtained from the Presidential Task Force on Power on Thursday showed that while the peak electricity generation was 4,656.4 megawatts, energy generation was 4,111.16 megawatts, and energy sent out was put at 4,006.42 megawatts. Cadbury Nigeria PLC on Thursday reported a loss before tax of 250.72 million naira, and that's compared with a profit of 1.79 billion naira declared in the same period of last year. The company's unaudited results from the half-year ended June 30, 2015, which it filed with the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and showed that its revenues stood at 14.14 billion naira, 8% lower than the 15.32 billion naira earned in the same period in the year 2014. The food and confectionery maker saw its net assets fall to 10.05 billion naira at the end of the period, down by 13% from 11.52 billion naira last year. In a similar development, Wema Bank's half-year pre-tax profits fell by 31% to 1.17 billion naira. That's from 1.70 billion naira a year ago. According to the lender, its profit after tax declined to 999.21 million naira during the 6 months to June 30, compared to 1.45 billion naira in the corresponding period of last year. Sport is next on the news at 4.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball, storming, Oriole with a flying lead.
Bo taking them out in the lead and really.
Manchester United target Sergio Ramos will not leave Real Madrid this summer, according to the Spanish club's boss Rafa Benitez. United bid £28 million for the 29-year-old Spain defender, but was rejected by Real. who wanted United keeper David De Gea. Benitez says Sergio is an integral part of the team who has been a winner, therefore is much needed in Real Madrid. The former Liverpool and Chelsea boss, who was appointed by Real in June, added, "I've spoken to Ramos at length in the summer about his ideas about his future. For me, he is an enormous professional. He does everything that the team and I ask of him." End of quote. Pakistan's Mohammad Hafiz has been banned from bowling in international cricket for a second time after his action was again judged to be illegal. The 34-year-old, who was previously suspended in November 2014, will not be allowed to bowl for 12 months. Hafiz was reported by match officials following his country's first test win over Sri Lanka in Gale last month. The spinner can appeal against any procedural aspect of the assessment leading to his suspension. Hafiz was previously banned following the first test win against New Zealand, but following work on his action, he was reassessed and permitted to resume bowling in April. Because this is the second time Hafiz's action has been deemed illegal within a 2-year period, he incurs an automatic suspension in international cricket for 12 months. England's Danny Willett fears Armageddon at the Open Championship if Friday's wind and rain proves as bad as it's been forecast. Willett shot a 6-under par 66 to be the leading English golfer after round 1 and is 1 stroke adrift of the lead held by America's Dustin Johnson. The Rotherham golfer says it would be a Armageddon-type stuff by the looks of the weather forecast. And says when the wind and rain gets up, it can be a lottery. The amount of wind there was today, you can play good golf. Meanwhile, there's a broady chance on every hole. According to him, that will get, when it gets to be much worse than that, and it's raining too, then it makes it very tough.
They should be used to some cold, windy weather.
And that wraps it on CoreTV News at 4. I am Nifemi.